Welcome to the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors final Steelers post game of the year. Steelers fall in the wild card round to the Buffalo Bills, 31-7. Lee, what are your instant thoughts, your instant reactions to what we saw?
Um, the Steelers stunk. They stunk today.
Especially in the first quarter of this game. It was
oh
dreadful to
yeah,
watch.
yeah. Decent season, but they had no business even being in the playoffs this year at all. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean it's true.
yeah,
Sad but
I mean
true.
they,
Uh huh.
yeah, they snuck in off of winning the last three games of the season and
Uh
getting
huh.
some help from some other teams, and they weren't a good team all year. And yeah, it's nice when your team can make the playoffs, but it sucks when they're out. They're one of the out of 32 teams, they're one of 14 to make the playoffs, and then they exit in the first round, and it hurts,
Uh
because
huh.
you want to see them go a little further, in the playoffs. But past few years that the Steelers have been in the playoffs, it seems like the wild card, and that's it, and
Yeah, it's
it's
been a trend. It's a trend for sure.
yeah,
They can't.
yeah,
It's. I think it's 7 years since the playoff win.
I think
I could
so,
be
yeah,
wrong, but I think it's 7 years since the last playoff win.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
like you're right. This wasn't a good team all year. They had a nice little run towards the end of the season to give us some hope.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, were just a better team today. The Steelers couldn't stop their run. Steelers couldn't get their run game going. It just Rudolph didn't play awful, but he had a costly interception. That was his first. I think that's his first one,
Yeah.
right? Uh,
Yeah, this
um,
first one of the season, yeah.
Fumble by Pickens early on, a couple like that, and then even when they started coming back, they never got to the point where they had the ball with a chance to
No,
tie.
not at
Um,
all.
the defense has this trend throughout the last few years too of not being able to get that big stop, and it's not like just this season. It's been multiple seasons in a row now where if you need that stop, this isn't the defense to get it.
No. And it's crazy how one player, TJ Watt, affects
Yeah.
so much of this defense that it's like they can't get over the hump and get a win without him there. It's like they can only win when he's there. And of course, he doesn't get injured. He's out there. Maybe it's a different game. You can play,
Uh huh.
hindsight bias here, but it's crazy how one player affects the entire defense, and they're now 1-11 without him on the field. I mean, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. You get nobody else to step up and do
Uh
anything.
huh. I still think the Bills win with TJ in there. Could just be the Steelers couldn't stop their run up right up the middle.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
It just so TJ is not going to help too much with that. Maybe he gets a turnover, maybe he causes some chaos, and then it's a closer game. But I think Bills left points on the board. It could have been a little
Yeah.
worse. But the Steelers lost 7 points in the red zone with the interception.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that can go back and forth. So that's not the end all be all, I'd say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
overall, I think it was a disappointing season. A lot of frustrations throughout the
Yeah.
year.
For sure. For sure. For sure.
I didn't. I got Tomlin ready to go for us after, but do you want to give some the team
Yeah, I
stats
can run
first?
through some. Yeah, I can run
Yeah.
through the team stats real quick. Again, final score: Bills 31, Steelers 17. Could have been 37-17. What can you do? But it's 31-17 Bills over the Steelers. Total yards: Bills had 368 to the Steelers 324. Pass yards: the Bills had 189 and the Steelers had 218. Rush yards: the Bills almost had about as much rush yards as pass yards. 179 rush yards for the Bills,
Yeah.
and 106 for the Steelers. 52 of those yards coming on a run by
Yeah.
Josh Allen. Just
He's
unbelievable.
he's he's just special. Yeah, he's special.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Yards per play: Bills had 5.6 yards per play to the Steelers 5.1 yards per play. First downs about the same. Bills had 24, Steelers had 22. Third down efficiency is about the same. Bills 5 for 12, Steelers 5 for 11. Fourth down efficiency 1 for 1 for the Bills and 0 for 1 for the Steelers. Total plays about the same. Bills had 66 to the Steelers 63. Sacks, there were 1 by the Bills and 2 by the Steelers. Penalty yards, 2 for 24 for the Bills and 6 for 50 for the Steelers. Turnovers, Bills had 0 turnovers to the Steelers, 2, 1 being an interception, 1 being a fumble that you mentioned earlier. And the time of possession, Bills 33 minutes and 19 seconds to the Steelers 26 minutes and 41 seconds. So pretty much got almost pretty much beat in every category today.
Yeah,
across
and
the board.
I think the running game is the big thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, 100. You give up 179 yards. I mean, it's disheartening because this has been the story all year for the Steelers. Yeah. Can't stop the run, can't stop the pass. Just too many injuries and just too much undiscipline with the penalties and just too much going on that it just wasn't a good team for the Steelers this year.
No, Najee ended up 12 carries for 37 yards. He looked like the old Najee from earlier in the season. He didn't have that same burst and fire that we've been seeing lately.
No spark at all. Yeah, none at all today.
I know he has been playing hurt. I know he misses a lot of practices, not a lot, but he misses a practice a week just to get some rest and stuff. But it was a little frustrating that they couldn't get any run game going because from what I understand, the Bills have been poor against the run all year.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be something
commentators were talking. Tony Romo was talking about that during the game, how the Bills' run defense wasn't that great,
Yeah. I mean, plus you get down 21 points. But, I mean, they ended up back within 7. There was enough time that we still were able to run the ball. So I don't think that's – they ended up with 23 carries in total. But that includes 2 Mason carries. Those were both scrambles. So 21 called runs compared to 39 pass or 41 pass play. 42 because there's a sack. So 42 passes versus 21 runs for the play calling. But why don't we just shoot up, Tom? And I've been teased or spoiled to something that happens in this.
Yeah, me too.
It's a short one. It's a short one.
Yeah.
I compliment Coach McDermott and the Buffalo Bills for victory in a hard-fought game. I appreciate the efforts of our guys in there. I just told them that, but efforts don't get it done. So let's talk tangibly about why we weren't successful. We spotted them early in the football game via the turnovers. Can't come into an environment like this versus a playoff caliber team and turn the ball over like that and expect to be competitive, man. We spotted them. We fought back in it over the course of the game. We cut it to 7 and was excited about that. Then we gave up a touchdown drive. When you get a major penalty within a drive on defense, that's usually going to produce points. And that was the case. And it put them back up by 14, and the rest is academic. And so I'm appreciative of the efforts, but it's not mystical. We didn't do what was required to win tonight. We didn't take care of the ball. We didn't get the ball from them enough in an environment like this, and thus the score. Had a couple of injuries. Joey Porter, Allen Robinson are in the concussion protocol. Pat Freiermuth had an ankle, had limited availability there toward the end of the game. Questions?
But there, before the questions start going, he said a lot of the same things we were saying about that, and then he brought up that the Joey Porter Jr. Hey, it's just of all the things that are not allowed in this league, and then something like that. Oh,
I know.
It's not a penalty to do that to a cornerback.
When I saw that, it was like, come on, you're not going to call that. There was a couple calls that didn't go our way.
But I don't even
today.
think I don't think that's a penalty. The league doesn't like consider that a penalty. That's the problem. Like something like that should be a penalty.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But
Yeah.
I don't think
You're right about that.
I don't think it was a missed
yeah.
call, but it's just like something that there's so many things in this league that you get penalized for, and then like something like that is allowed. it's pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it could have
is.
been an unnecessary roughness, but who knows? The other thing he brought up was the slow starts. Here's a stat for you. The last 5 Steeler first quarter playoff scores, they've been outscored 66-0 in those games. Over the last 5 first quarters.
Wow.
Yeah. 66-0.
Wow. Before he goes into his question, you want to go through the scoring drive real quick? Or the scoring summary?
Yeah, I can run through it real quick. We got started off the scoring in the first quarter with a Dawson Knox 9-yard catch from Josh Allen. Steelers get the ball back. They end up punting. Bills punt. Steelers get the ball back again. Pickens fumble. Bills recover. First play of the next drive. Dalton Kincaid this time, the other tight end, 29 yards from Allen.
Yeah.
That pass was just like on. It was a laser on the money. And then Bills get up 21-0 on the Josh Allen 52-yard run. Another play where it's like those are 2 touchdowns in a row. Yeah, like his greatness is greater than pretty much anyone's going now. Even Mahomes, I think his peak play is just. It's just awesome. He's not consistent like Mahomes is, or Lamar is even. Lamar's more consistent, but Allen. I mean, his greatness is greater than anyone's right now, I think.
Oh yeah.
And that was coming off of they had interception from Rudolph before that 21-yard or the 21-0. Steelers do get a score before the end of the half with 1:39 left. Deontay Johnson. 10-yard pass from Rudolph to make it 21-7 at halftime. How you feeling at half, Lee? What were you thinking then?
Yeah. I was thinking at one point I was kind of thinking it was going to be a blowout. And I just had a feeling that I was like, this isn't going our way. It's been one mistake after another. I mean, there could have even been another fumble with that fire. I actually thought that was a fumble, that fire move.
I think so too. I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have been even a more disastrous of a game, but that call went our way. But when it was 21-7 at halftime, I didn't think there was any comeback, to be honest, for us. I thought the game was over.
Yeah, I was. It's the playoffs, so you want to have that hope because the season's over if you lose. So you want to have a little bit of. You never know; they can come out, get a few stops. And they kind of did do that. So. Third quarter starts. Bills don't do anything. Steelers go down and make it 21-10 on a Boswell field goal. The Bills come back and get a field goal of their own to make it 24-10. After that, the Steelers get a touchdown from Calvin Austin to make it 24-17. Back within 1 score, but like we were talking about, immediate drive right after that. Ann Tomlin brought up 31-7. And what did he call it? He said that's a wrap or something. What was his line right there a second ago?
Yeah, something
that's
like
a wrap
that.
For that.
Yeah, that was a wrap. Yeah.
Just some other plays that were big during that stretch that I kind of glossed over would be the blocked field goal the Steelers had before that touchdown. It was a big play and nice play by the special teams before the touchdown for Johnson at the end of the half there. And then the Bills also missed a field goal at one point. Other play was the George Pickens no call when it was 31-17 on that 4th down. The game's pretty much over at that point, but you would like to see the call there to maybe get that drive going a little bit. There's still 5 minutes left or so.
I think there was 5 minutes, something like that. Yeah. But the other thing though with that drive is why didn't they do a little hurry up at that point? Because it seemed like they just kind of let the clock run down some. There was still time where they could have gone down if, even besides that 4th down play. I mean, they took a little bit too much time off.
There was a lack of urgency for sure. I don't know. Maybe they just felt it was over once they gave up that score. You hope not, but that might have been the case. Mason was still going even at the end of that game. I was
Yeah,
joking that
yeah.
I was joking with my dad about it. He's trying to get a job somewhere next year, so he's still out there running for first downs with
Yeah.
the time on the clock ending.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
even that last drive, they like went nowhere in 2 minutes. 2 minute drill when the other team you're
Yeah.
expecting is not even like, trying to stop you really, and you still
Yeah.
couldn't get anywhere
Yeah.
down the field. It is
Yeah.
frustrating for sure.
Yeah.
But let's finish up with Tomlin here. He's about to answer
See
some
what he has to
questions. I don't
say.
think it's going to be many.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Like that second turnover, and then Josh goes 52 yards on that scramble, and that one was really hurtful.
No question. But we talked about quarterback mobility and what he and they are capable of. It probably not the story of the game was the mobility, but the turnover component, got to do better.
What kept you from getting a consistent ground game offensively?
Their efforts. They did a really good job of packing the line of scrimmage and, forcing us to throw the ball more vertically, probably a little bit more vertically than we wanted to. We adjusted. We started doing that, and we started moving the football. So credit to them.
Like, what did they do something different with their tight ends, or did what you had planned just not work the way you hoped it would?
We've had our issues with tight end matchups over the second half of the year. We adjusted in game, but they made some plays definitively early on.
How much did you feel the loss of not having TJ Watt out there?
I didn't think about it, to be quite honest with you. We knew all week he wasn't playing, and so we prepared with that mindset. And so I didn't waste any time thinking about what wasn't at our disposal. We had too much at our disposal and too many decisions and considerations to be made to waste time like that.
How do you think Mason did after throwing that interception?
I thought he was solid. I thought he was competitive. I thought his confidence was unshakable. I thought he, displayed the things that he displayed really for the last month or so.
Anyone?
Mike, you have a year left on your contract.
Ooh. Oh.
That's how we ended the last post game of the 2020 or 2024 season. He didn't even let her get she didn't even get the question out. That was a pure walkout. But so Mason ends up going 22 of 39, 229, 2 TDs, that interception. But I think those are the two. Yeah, not bad at all. But I just don't think they had Buffalo was just better.
Yeah.
It's not like no other quarterback would have went in there for the Steelers and won that game either. Really, on the roster.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
But that's the two stories. Even though Tomlin doesn't want to talk about the two stories going into the offseason are QB and whether or not Tomlin's going to take a little break. He's got 1 year left on his deal, which, 1 year left, it doesn't happen often. They call it a lame duck coach. It doesn't happen, especially for the Steelers. I think they said during the broadcast today that he's never gone within 2 years before getting an extension in the past. So this is uncharted territory for sure. But his reaction there, that tells me he's coming back. I think maybe I'm crazy.
I think so. Yeah.
Like he completely blew that off. The idea of that off. Maybe I'm looking into it the wrong way, but that's how I think. So I think Tomlin's back. We still got to get an OC. Maybe we can get some kind of like inspiring hire there and help out. This offense has struggled all year.
Yeah.
And then Mason, you had said before about him being the starter next year. How are you feeling now that it's all said and done? Would you have him as your number one going into the year?
I mean, if you look at the 3 quarterbacks over this season, he's had from the 4 games he played, from the 3 games to this playoff game, he's had the better stretch. Again, we could play hindsight bias, and say that, if Kenny doesn't get injured, we maybe win one of those Cardinals-Patriots games. Yeah. Even if they had thrown Mason in there instead of Mitch, we probably win one of those games as well. I think this offseason is going to be competitive. I just don't know if none of them I don't think really are the guy. Not all 3 of them, I don't think really.
It doesn't seem like
the guy.
I think that Unfortunately, that seems to be the case.
Yeah.
I don't
But if
want
I
to
had to
mid.
pick, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't want them to. If they're going to get someone in the draft, I want them to get it early. I know they did that
Yeah.
with Kenny, and maybe it was a reach at this point. You can argue.
Yeah.
But I don't want like a mid-round guy. I don't think that'll help the team. That's just you're just gonna have another guy who's just as talented as these other guys. You need to go
Yeah.
if you're not gonna make it Kenny or Mason. My thing would be to have them in a competition unless you can get
Yeah.
some like a big name this offseason somehow falls into the laps, or
Yeah.
you do some kind of work in the draft to get someone who's like an elite talent. But
Yeah,
if you're just going to get a
for
guy who's similar in talent, just stick with these two, make them compete, make it an actual open competition, and see who wins in the preseason, and then go from there.
Yeah.
The other one is backup.
Yeah.
Mitch should be gone. The other thing is Mason's a free agent. If he's going to be signed, he's probably going to want some promises about at least competing for the job. So that'll be interesting if he stays. Be interesting if someone else sees what he did these last few games and decides they're going to pay him big money. It's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been quarterbacks in the past. Matt Flynn had like one good game with the Packers, and he ended up getting like a big deal with Seattle. And then Russell Wilson came in, and Matt Flynn never even played.
Yeah.
So there's been situations like that where someone gets a contract. But I think you were about to say if you had to choose between everything.
Yeah, if I had to choose between the three at this point of where things are at, I think, to be honest, I think I'd take Mason right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just think go open competition if it's gonna be those guys.
Yeah.
Don't get.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get a backup in the draft, sure, go get a backup QB in the draft, but don't waste a mid-round pick on it. Go 6th, 7th round if you're gonna pick it. But it's either gonna be round 1 or 6, 7 for me if you're gonna get a quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want a mid-round guy who's not going to be as talented as, or who's not going to be more talented than the guys we got on the roster. I'm a little tired of that. Kind of. So, either if you get a veteran who's like a good player, a proven starter, sure, you can go and try to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't want a Jacoby Brissett. I don't want something like that for next year.
Yeah, no.
That's a waste in my eyes. But
again, it looks like we'll be getting like a 20 pick, 21st, 19th, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So another year where they're not like picking where you want to pick.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think those are the two big things right now. The offseason is Tomlin and Rudolph, though.
And highest paid defense.
Highest paid and getting old. Getting old.
Getting old.
This game, Peterson's been good the last few at safety, but at this game, I think you can't bring him back, especially because he's probably gonna want some money. I mean, if you can get him on like the super cheap, sure. If he likes the city, why not? Let him try to play safety.
Yeah.
But he missed the sack. He missed
that's
his pursuit a couple of times. The lanes he took on some tackle. It just. He's too slow compared to what he was during his whole career. I think that's the biggest thing for him.
Yeah.
Great career, but you can't pay him next year. You got to start thinking with Hayward. Hayward can't stay healthy. He's making a lot of money too.
No.
I know it sucks to say. It's another thing because you're gonna have to start paying other people too. We'll see.
There's too many injuries on the defense. I mean, you want to hope that next season is a little more successful with the players being injury prone, but I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, like this was a complete lost year for Minkah, I'd say.
Yeah.
He didn't look good when he was on the field. I mean, he was solid.
Not at all. I mean,
too many mistakes.
He even missed the key tackle that last final score, I mean, that's just
Yeah, the tackling
too many missed tackles.
So bad. It's so bad today.
They got to be more disciplined with the penalties, and
that Jack one, the Miles Jack one, I don't think there's anything. It's going to be called a penalty, but I don't think he could have done anything really different there.
Well, two of them, I think. I mean, the ball's not even catchable. The ball's thrown out of bounds.
Yeah, that one was ridiculous. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they ended up calling it a holding because you can get a holding call if it's uncatchable. But I mean, the ball's in the air. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be pass interference or uncatchable at
Yeah.
that point once the ball's in
Yeah.
the air. But the other
Yeah.
one, the slide for Allen.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can't do nothing about
look
that.
earlier in the game, the way he broke through all those tackles. Like when you're going to attack, you can't let up on a guy like that, even if he's going to slide on you. I mean,
Yeah.
he would have
But-
if Jack does anything different there, and Allen decides not to slide. We're all going to be giving him shit for not being able to tackle Allen
Yeah.
on that play. So it's like,
Yeah.
what can you do there?
Yeah, that's the one
But-
thing that you just you can't. They don't know. You can't do nothing about that. When a player's diving and all of a sudden the quarterback goes to slide, their trajectory is already going towards the player that they're they're going to tackle.
Maybe you have to like put in a rule. It's going to be like a judgment call, but like on that was a read. Like it was a read option play.
Yeah.
On those plays, the quarterback doesn't have the protection of a slide. Maybe that's what you do.
No. Yeah.
Because it should be only on like a scramble drill. The quarterback should be given that allowance, I guess you could call
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
I don't know what you would do there other than that. But overall, the defense had some stops, but when it counted, once again, they couldn't do it. They couldn't cut.
They
and
couldn't do it.
That's been a
Let
trend.
me ask you: do you have any predictions on players not coming back? O line, wide receivers, defense, special team, anything?
Yeah, I mean, Mitch is gone for sure. I think that's the one that's
Yeah.
like a guarantee. Mitch is gone. How about we do that? We'll do that this week. We can do a little better
Okay.
research. So instead of me
Okay, yeah.
just talking out of my ass here.
Yeah, no, I
But
got you. I got you.
Yeah. But that's not like I would at this point say Peterson shouldn't be back. Some of the linebackers are old. Like Miles Jack's not going to be back. I don't think this was like a little run for him there. I don't think he'll be back.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, if he thinks he played well enough, he's still young-ish. He's not like an old man.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll come back.
Sign Harrison back. Let's call him back.
Yeah. But I don't know. Allen Robinson, I could see him being gone. That really didn't work out. But I don't know what.
Yeah.
We're sitting here. I don't know a lot about contracts. Who's got what left? And
No, I got you. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, that's a good topic for this week.
Pissed that, he was pissed. He threw his helmet.
Yeah, I mean,
after that
I'm not going to get
penalty.
on him on that. That's different than some of the
Yeah.
other pouting. That's the end of the game frustration. Where he thought he got penalized. It looks like he got penalized.
Yeah,
That's the fire you're okay with. It's when it's like, oh, I didn't get the ball on this play that I get. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that was competitiveness in the right way. It wasn't I didn't have a problem with that. But
the only thing we could really hope for is that Omar Khan, makes some moves this off season and make some better decision, get some, like we talked about. OC definitely need to be in there. We need to find an OC. I think we need to establish a new offensive line. And look at, maybe look at some of these contracts for some of these players.
Yeah.
That just haven't stepped up this season, and they got to
See what
go.
we can do. Yeah, we can do that. That is a good topic. We can do maybe this week or next week. We got a lot of time now. We got the off season coming.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We'll have,
Yeah.
time to get talking on all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I guess we'll end it here. Let's go watch this other game. There's one more playoff game for the weekend. I'm pretty sure my picks went awful. All the guys, I think the Bills win.
That's the thing I think the only thing we got right was that one, because we lost the Bills, we lost the Cowboys. I think we got the Lions
I had
right.
the Chiefs. I had the Chiefs, but I said the Dolphins would cover. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
So it was pretty bad, but
it was pretty bad. Yeah, bad.
We'll get some predictions going next week, and maybe we'll make up for it, I guess. But
sounds
I'm
good.
I'm gonna sign us off, Lee. I'll see you.
Sounds good. I'll see you.
Season's over. I'll see you.
Season's over
for the regular podcast this week. There, I'll see you.
Yep. Have a good one.
You too.